Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Cubs Sports Report. I'm Grant, and I'm here to talk to you about the Chicago Cubs and the latest news updates and what we have in store for us with the playoffs. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to be able to see all of our videos. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay. 162 games have been played by this Cubs team. And, you know, I feel like it's so easy for us to get caught up in, oh, they should have done this better and they should have done that better. And if they did this better, we might have the number one seed. We might, not be playing in the wild card, or so and so might have never got hurt. Those kind of things. I know it's so easy to get into hypotheticals, but I really want us as Cubs fans to really, truly enjoy look back and enjoy this season because it really was a great season. 92 wins and 70 losses. That is a fantastic season and a lot to be celebrated between, us getting our star and Kyle Tucker to the breakout of PCA, Seiya Suzuki having a big year for the most part, other than a rough second half. The emergence of the young guys in the second half between Cade Horton and Matt Shaw. The Carson Kelly cycle in the beginning of the year. Just so many fun moments throughout the season. I know like a lot of Cubs fans are upset with how the second half of the season went, but don't let that blind you from the fact that this season truly was a spectacular season and a lot of fun. And, it was a great ride. There was some ups and downs, but for the most part, this team got the job done and won a lot of ball games. 92 wins is no easy feat. That's a pretty impressive thing to do. So yeah, just really enjoy this season and be thankful for it because we don't know what's going to happen in this offseason with Kyle Tucker's contract looming and things like that. So let's just enjoy this ride every step of the way. And let's do something fun here. Let me know down below your favorite moment of the season that happened this year. Mine personally was a Cincinnati Reds game where we were down by a lot and PCA hit a go-ahead grand slam. And that was kind of like the moment, I think, where a lot of people are like, all right, we have a superstar on our hands. So that was my personal favorite moment. But let me know down below what your guys' favorite moments were. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into some news and stuff now. Since I started off so positive, now let's bring it down with probably one of the biggest negatives I can go with, and that is Cade Horton is going to miss the wild card series and potentially more. He has a fractured rib, and Jed Hoyer was essentially saying he couldn't throw without changing his mechanics, so they had to shut him down. He's on the 15-day IL, and obviously that is a huge loss. That is who our ace was going to be going into this playoff run. He was going to be our game one starter without a doubt. So a huge loss there. Cade Horton's been fantastic this season, especially in the second half of the season, putting up some pretty great numbers. I'd like to say he's rookie of the year. Only time will tell. So that is going to be a huge loss. But, you got to bounce back. You got to find a way to win a baseball game, baseball games as we're going into playoff series here. So it does stink to see, but, we got to try to be positive here as we move forward. And I'll do just that by sliding into a positive. Kyle Tucker looked very healthy in this last series against the Reds. He played all three games, DH'd in all of them. I was putting some pretty good swings on the ball. Didn't have like any crazy stat lines or anything like that, but he was making good contact. He was running the bases. Those were all the check marks that I had in my head that I needed to see, and he checked all those boxes. So I think that he's probably going to be DH in the whole wild card series, but just to have his bat in the lineup, that's going to be huge. And I'm looking forward to seeing him back and healthy. All right, so that's pretty much the injury front sort of things that we have going on right now. So now we're just going to go straight into a wild card preview. I want to start with this last series. We had a lot of momentum with the offense. I want to throw that out there. That's what I said in the last episode. We need to have some momentum going into the playoffs, and they did just that. We saw, PCA hit 2 home runs in the last series, which was huge. Michael Busch put in up a unbelievable couple of games, especially that one where he had the 2 home runs. It was just single shy of the cycle. Unfortunately, we know the Cardinals pitchers intentionally walked him because they were scared of him. And we also saw, this is the biggest thing, we saw Seiya Suzuki have a fantastic last couple of series to end the season, hitting 4 home runs in his last 4 games. This is a huge, huge, huge thing for this team because when he is right and he is hitting home runs, it elevates this offense like even more than what it already is. And it really reminds you of the early stages of this season when everyone was hidden. So that is great news because if you lose Cade Horton, you better believe that you need your offense to be on fire. So that's a great sign to see. We had that momentum and we are bringing it into the playoffs now, which is a great thing. Um, Okay, next thing is we know our opponent. We knew it last episode, the San Diego Padres. What we didn't know was who was going to be playing at home, and thankfully, the Chicago Cubs have gotten home field advantage, so the games will be played at Wrigley Field. Which one? That's just going to be so exciting to see these games at Wrigley. Those us Cubs fans, they know how to show up and show out, so it's going to be electric in that ballpark. And I wish I could go. I wish I could fly over to Chicago right now and go, but I'm super excited to see what Wrigley is looking like, and they deserve a playoff series. So, really big for the Cubs to get home field advantage. They played a lot better at home this year than they have on the road, and I think it helps the pitchers a lot, especially if the wind is blowing in, with the ballpark being a pitcher-friendly ballpark. So, good thing right there. Um, Padres, they're a good team though. They're 90-72 this season. They have a very talented roster. Obviously, we know about Tatis and Machado and Luis Ariz, Jackson Merrill. They got Ryan O'Hearn, who they got at the trade deadline, Roman Laureano, who has been a really good acquisition for them. They got some guys. They also have one of the best bullpens in baseball, so it's going to be hard to score late in games. So they really need to try to work and get runs in the beginning of games and stay on top if they want to have the best chance to win this series. This Padres team is not going to be a cakewalk by any means necessary. It's going to be a very challenging series. I'm sure there's some people even out there that would make a statement as crazy as that this Padres series could be tougher than a potential Brewers series, which would be after this series. They're a good team. They have experience. They know how to win. The moment's always never too big for them, it seems. And Tatis, who has had a very mediocre season, has really heated up in the last stretch of this season. I was watching some of the games when we were trying to clinch home field advantage, and he was hitting a grand slam here, a home run there. So despite his bad season, I expect him to be prime Fernando Tatis and which is an MVP caliber player. So we're gonna have to be ready to, give it our all and play because this is a 3-game series and you got to leave it all on the line. Um, as far as pitching matchups, we don't know who we are throwing on Tuesday yet. One can only assume that it's going to be Matthew Boyd. But we do know who the Padres are throwing, and that is their ace, Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta has had a very good season, 13-5 with a 2.87 ERA and a 0.99 WHIP, which ranked 5th in MLB. We have faced him twice this season, which is sometimes a good thing. You face a guy a couple times. This will now be our 3rd time facing him, so that's a positive. When they faced him in Wrigley, they scored 3 runs, and he only went 3 innings. When we faced him in Petco, which is the San Diego stadium, he went 6 innings and gave up only 1 run. So, maybe Wrigley Field is the difference there. Maybe Pivetta was just having an off day when we played him in Wrigley. But while playing in Wrigley Field, we put up 3 runs and he only went 3 innings. So that is a good sign. That is a good stat. If you look at the Cubs' numbers against Pivetta, they have some pretty good hidden stats off him. So despite Pivetta being their ace and having a fantastic season, it shouldn't be like, facing Paul Skeens in game 1 of we should be able to get some runs on the board and realistically be able to score and get ahead in this series. But Pivetta is a great pitcher. So, you're going to have to battle and play hard. Like I said, Cubs don't know who we're pitching yet. I would assume that it's Matthew Boyd, saying as he was kind of our ace for majority of the season before the Cade Horton breakout. His last start against the Mets, he looked pretty solid. Only gave up that 1 2-run home run, but we were already up by plenty of runs. So that was good to see because his last few starts he had been struggling. So I'm really hoping he can ride that momentum into this start on Tuesday. And then after that, I have no idea what the pitching idea is going to be. It could be kind of like throwing everyone at him for a certain amount of innings. One thing I do like is the comment that Craig Counsell said. He said, whatever it takes to get 27 outs, that's what we're going to do. So that means if he has to play a matchup game and get a lefty in there to face some lefties, do that. If he has to throw someone that gets ground balls, he'll do that. I really like that mindset because when you have a pitching staff that's as injured as ours with missing guys like Steele and Horton, et cetera, you need to get 27 outs, no if, ands, or buts about it. So I really like that comment from him. That means that he's not going to be, letting Shota get hit around like how he has in the regular season. If Shota's getting hit pretty early, he's going to get taken out pretty early, and we're going to have to figure it out. Soroka gets up and moving around, Savali, those kind of things. Tyone and Ray are going to become big factors in this wild card series who we didn't expect to be. But that's just how it goes when injuries happen. It's next man up. So I agree with Council. Whatever it takes to get 27 outs, let's do it. I don't know what exactly that plan is. The only person in my mind that I know for sure is probably pitching is Matthew Boyd. Outside of that, it's going to be whatever it takes, I feel like. So I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. And yeah, really looking forward to this series. It's going to be so much fun to watch playoff baseball and watch the Chicago Cubs play playoff baseball more specifically. The Padres are a great test early on, and the Padres are going to be coming through our throat. They're going to show no mercy, so we got to be ready to protect home field. And let's win a series and go play the Brewers, and we'll talk there. I'm very excited for this. I'm gonna try, I think, to do a show after every single game, and kind of do like a review of every game. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, other than that, I really hope the Cubs win on Tuesday. I'm very excited. I'm very anxious and nervous. It was a great season, 92 and 70, like I said. So let's try to keep these positive vibes going as we move forward here and pray for some Cubs wins here. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm Grant, and I'll be signing off for now. Go Cubs, go. Let's go get a win on Tuesday. Thank you guys.